Okay, assalamu alaikum students. How are you? I hope you are fine. It's been a long time since we last met. So I hope you have given a very good test. I'm really happy with 5B students specifically because a lot of students have got 10 out of 10. And also I would like to congratulate all the students who got 10 out of 10 in maths test. It's really satisfying as a teacher that you students are understanding the problems. Also I would like to state few problems related to the answers which you gave. Okay, then I will start a new topic as well for today. Okay, so related to the problem which I have seen in most of the cases is you have done addition and subtraction properly. Okay, suppose you have, for example, let's say 5 by 2 plus 3 by let's say 7. Okay, suppose if let me add this fraction. Let me see, 2 7. First what do we need to do? We need to find the LCM of the denominators. So LCM of the denominators is what? 2 1s are 2, then 7 stays as it is. So LCM is 2 into 1 into 7, that is 14, right? So if I just add this, 14 divided by 2 is 7, then 7 into 5 is 35, plus 14 divided by 7 is 2, 2 into 3 is 6, right? So this is normal addition which most of the students could do, but the problem is after this. I've seen a lot of students, after adding the fractions, you have kept the answer as it is. You did not convert this into mixed fraction. I did not deduct marks because it's correct, but for future problems, you always, whenever you get an improper fraction, it's your job to convert this into a mixed fraction. Okay, so for example, this is 41 by 14. You need to convert this into mixed fraction by just simply dividing it. 14 2s are 28. So 11 minus 8 is 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. So answer will be 213 by 14. Okay, also I've seen a few students that whenever the question, for this example it's okay because this is just a fraction, but whenever you're doing a word problem, suppose for number 3 question where you saw 1 3 by 4 kg, so for example 3 1 by 4 kg, okay, then 7 by 6 kg, for example. So whenever you are adding, you also need to keep in mind that you need to write the units, that is kg. Okay, so after you get the answer, you need to write kg. Lot of students did not even write this as well. Okay, so whenever you're doing a word problem, if there is any, for example, if it's mentioned about kg, or if it's mentioned about length, suppose meter, you also need to write kg or meter as required. Like for example, whatever it's given in the question, you need to follow the unit as well. For example, if it's given kg, then you need to write kg. If it's given meter, then you need to write meter. For word problems I'm talking about. Okay, also if you get an improper fraction after adding or subtracting, it's compulsory for you to convert this into a mixed fraction. Okay, if you don't understand, you can also check the solution which Helal sir gave into individual groups. I'm talking about 5B, A, B and C. Okay, so please check how Helal sir solved it. I mean, you have the solution in front of you. Just match with your answer scripts what you did and what you did not. Okay, make sure you convert. If you, after adding or subtracting, if you get a mixed fraction, you need mixed fraction, if you get an improper fraction, what does an improper fraction mean? That means you get the numerator is greater than denominator, right? We already know what is a mixed fraction, like improper fraction. The numerator is always greater than denominator. So if you get a fraction after adding or subtracting, if you get a fraction which is an improper fraction, it's your responsibility to convert it into a mixed fraction. Also, don't forget to write the unit, that is kg or meter, whatever is it's given in the question. If there is no unit mentioned in the question, you don't need to write the unit. Okay, I hope this is clear. So now next we will move on to our new topic today, that is multiplication of fractions. So how to multiply fractions. Okay, so from chapter 2 you already know that if we multiply two numbers, what do we get? There is multiplicand then there is multiplier, we get product, right? So multiplicand, if you multiply multiplicand and multiplier, we will get a product. That means, for example, let's say we multiply two numbers. If we multiply 2 by 3, so multiplier over here is 3, we get what? 6. So similarly, in case of fractions as well, we will see different types of multiplication. Okay, for example, this is 1 by 6. I will tell you how to multiply. I'm just telling you the basics. First of all, there would be a multiplicand, then multiplier, then product. We always get, in multiplication there is always a multiplicand, multiplier, and then we get a product. So product is always the answer of multiplication. You already know it. So in terms of fraction, for multiplication, you will get notice to a new term which we call it as reciprocal. Reciprocal, or you might get opposite fraction. So I am introducing you to a new term, that is reciprocal or opposite fraction. So what does reciprocal or opposite fraction mean? For example, let's say fraction to be 3 by 4. So what would be the opposite? As the term opposite says, opposite means what? Ulta, right? In Bangla we say opposite means ulta. So the 3 by 4, the reciprocal of 3 by 4 will be what? 4 by 3. Okay, so if we say what is the reciprocal of 3 only? Now you might say, sir, this is not a fraction. How can I find out the reciprocal? We always know that if there is nothing, like for a number, if there is no denominator for a number, we always know that there is 1 as a denominator for a number. So if I want to find out the reciprocal of 3, the reciprocal of 3 will be actually 1 by 3. Okay, so remember, if there is, if I just give you a number and there is no denominator mentioned, you need to consider the denominator as 1 to find out the reciprocal. Okay, also in order to multiply, you will actually require this. So if I just give a number and there is no denominator, you need to consider that the denominator is 1. Okay, so now let's move on to our next topic, that is how to multiply fractions. It's very easy. For example, let's take two fractions, suppose 1 by 5 and 2 by 6. So if we need to multiply these fractions, what do we need to do? 1 by 5 into 2 by 6. Okay, so numerators always get multiplied, denominators get multiplied with denominators, numerators get multiplied with numerators. But in case if you have the possibility to reduce a fraction, you always need to reduce that fraction. For example, 2 and 6, both numbers are divisible by 2. So first of all, what we need to do is reduce the fraction. So 2 ones are 2, 2 threes are 6. Next, once you see that you cannot reduce the fraction anymore, then what you need to do? Multiply the numerators. So 1 into 1 is 1, 5 into 3 is 15. So answer is 1 by 15. Okay. So let's consider more fractions, because you need to understand different type of examples as well. Let's say 2 by 9 into 3 by say 8. Okay. So here if you see straight, like for this individual fraction you cannot reduce it, right? Because 9 is not divisible by 2, again 2 is not divisible by 9, so there is no common factor for them. Again similarly for this, 3 is divisible by 3, but it's not divisible by 8 or something. Again 8 is not divisible by 3. But in terms of multiplication, you can actually reduce the fraction crosswise as well. Okay. Suppose in this case we can consider 2 and 8. When you see a multiply sign, you can actually reduce a fraction crosswise. Okay. Now if you see 9 is divisible by 3, 3 is divisible by 3. So we can say 3 ones are 3, 3 threes are 9. Similarly, 2 ones are 2, 2 fours are 8. Right? Now we just multiply as in the normal way. So 1 into 1 is 1, 3 into 4 is 12. So answer is 1 by 12. Are you understanding? So what we need to do is, fractions can be reduced in two ways. One is up down, the other way is crosswise. Okay, we can reduce a fraction in two ways. One is up down, okay, or we can reduce a fraction crosswise as well. So this is an example of up down, where we actually what did we do? We reduce the fraction up down, like 2 ones are 2, 2 threes are 6. Then we just normally multiplied. Here the fractions were not like we could not reduce the fractions up down. So what did we do? We reduced the fractions crosswise. So we need to remember that fractions can be reduced either in crosswise or up down. We cannot reduce the fractions on the same line. Like for example, let's consider another example. Suppose 2 by 3 into let's say 5 by 9. Now we cannot reduce a fraction 3 ones are 3, 3 threes are 9. No, in the same line we cannot reduce a fraction. We always need to consider up, down or crosswise. So over here if you see, crosswise we cannot reduce a fraction because there is no same number which can divide both the numbers. Crosswise or in other cases like up, down also we cannot reduce it. So this we just will multiply. So 2 5s are is 10, 3 9s are is 27. So this fraction cannot be reduced anymore. Okay, so make sure that whenever you are trying to reduce a fraction, you always need to consider up down fact or crosswise fact. You cannot reduce a fraction on the same line. Okay, so I hope this is clear. So multiplication revolves around reducing a fraction and multiplying. Okay, whenever I ask you to multiply fractions, we are actually trying to do what? Reduce the fraction to its lowest term. Okay, so next let's move on to some other examples as well. for example, let's say 12 by 5 into 1 by 6. So how to do it? This fraction can be reduced crosswise, because up down we cannot reduce, we don't have a same number. So again, 6 ones are 6, 6 twos are 12. So what do we get? 2 ones are is 2 and 5 ones are is 5. Okay, similarly let's move on to, let's consider a mixed fraction now. Suppose 3 2 by 5 into 6 1 by 2. Okay, let's consider this mixed fraction. So what we need to do, first we need to convert this mixed fraction into improper fractions. So 5 3s are 15, 15 plus 2 is 17. So first we write 17, then we write the denominator as it is, then into, and 2 6 are 12, 12 plus 1 is 13. Okay, now these numbers cannot be reduced because we do not have a common number which can divide both crosswise or up down. So what we need to do, just multiply. So 17 into 13, I don't know what 17 into 13, I just need to find out. 1 2 3 1s are 3, 3 plus 2 is 5, then 17, 1 2 2. So answer is 221 by 10. Now since I have got an improper fraction, what will I do? I will convert it into a mixed fraction. So 10 into 2, 20, 21, 10 2s are 21. So what would be the answer? 22 1 by 10. So if I'm multiplying and if I get an improper fraction, what did I do? I convert this into a mixed fraction. So always remember, whenever you are multiplying or whenever you are adding or subtracting, if you get an improper fraction, you'll always convert that fraction into improper fraction. So let's give you some task now. I hope that's clear. Everyone please try and solve this. So multiply these fractions. Let's say 5 2 by 9 into, let's say 2 5 by 7. Next number 2 5 by 4 into 2 2 by 5. Number 3 7 by 8 into 1 2 by 14. Number 4 9 by 13 into 91. Okay, I forgot to discuss one more example. Let's consider suppose this 4 by 7 into 28. So how to solve this? You remember, I just informed you that if I write a number, there is always a 1 as the denominator. If it's only a number, you always need to consider that there is a 1 as a denominator. So now we do the normal way. So you see 7 and 28 both can be reduced, like 7 ones are 7, 7 fours are 28. So what do we get? 4 fours are 16, and over here 1 into 1 is 1. So we don't write it as denominator, you can just write directly, answer is 16. Okay, similarly let's solve another problem. 5 by 13 into 65. Okay, so 13 ones are 13, 13 fives are 65. Here there's 1 again, so 5 fives are 25, 25 by 1. If it's a denominator is 1, and in the answer we don't write the denominator, so it becomes 25. So when will you use 1? When trying to multiply fractions, if there is a number and there is no denominator, then only we use the 1. Okay, after dividing, after like reducing, okay, after multiplying the fraction, if I have a number and there is a 1 in as denominator, we don't put in the answer, we don't put the 1, we just write 16. Okay, same in this also, in this case as well, we don't put the 1. Once we get the answer as 1 as a denominator, we don't put the 1 anymore, it just says 25. Okay, so normally also if you see 16 divided by 1 is what? 16. Again 25 divided by 1 is what? 25. So we can just write 25 also. Okay, we can also write 16. So please try and solve these problems, okay, and send it to me. Alright, thank you very much.